Hi everybody, this is a quick video to show you how to take through Design Space the little pair of SVGs you buy in a bundle to make a box to hold a shot glass or a single miniature of alcohol. I base these on things I can buy in the UK, obviously. This shot glass is from a shop called Poundland, which I guess compares to Dollar Tree and things like that. But obviously it's a specific size to fit my glass, but this being such a plain and simple box, it's quite easy to resize. So before we talk about anything to do with that, I'll just convert the score lines as we always need to do with any SVG that's got multiple parts and score lines. We can't bring them in already set to score, you have to convert them. With my SVGs, the lines that need converting always live in this first subgroup in the layers panel. If an SVG's been saved correctly, with multiple parts and scores that is, it should come in 3 groups. The whole SVG will be in one overall group, and then within that group there'll be 2 subgroups. One that's got the score lines in and one that's got the cut pieces in and any cuts within it, like that cutout and these little notches in the tuck in there. So just select that first subgroup by clicking on the second line down in your layers panel. Go to operation menu and choose score from the drop down menu, and you can see that those lines have been converted now. And while they're still selected, because there's more than one piece to this SVG, you need to ungroup them. And I'm using the desktop version for PC, and ungroup is at the top of the layers panel. Then select that second subgroup and just ungroup that. And finally select everything on screen by either selecting this last overall group just by clicking on the name of it, or you can drag a box to enclose everything, or you can use the select all button. However you do it, once everything's selected, ungroup a 3rd time. So 3 ungroups, ideally in that order: score lines, cut pieces and the whole SVG. So now we've done that, we can attach the scores to the individual pieces that they relate to, and I think the quickest way to do that is to click on screen somewhere near a piece, drag a box to more or less enclose it and click attach. Just make sure that when you move it, you're moving all the tiny little bits within it, like these notches and the cutouts and everything. It will usually happen with mine, but it doesn't always with some. So we'll do the same with this, drag a box to enclose it and attach it. Right, let's have a look at the size. Yeah. So if we click make it, we can see that we can choose A4, but it's wanting to put them on 2 separate sheets, but that's just because Cricut doesn't like the overlap of pieces, does it? So we'll just click that tiny insert. That's the base insert that the glass sits in at the bottom of the box. I'm going to move it onto the same page as the actual box, and you can see that they both cut nicely from a sheet of A4. Don't know how letter works. Let's try. Yeah, letter's going to do the same. So how would it? Yeah, it's definitely working, isn't it? So we'll just click that, move object, move it to the same box as there, and you see that they both fit on a letter. So that little box will cut from A4 or letter, or 12 by 12 obviously, if that's what you're using. Okay, so now we know how to convert it and what it's going to cut on. Obviously, depending on where you live and where you buy your shot glasses from, yours might be a different size. So it's easy to resize SVGs with the aspect ratio locked. So you can just select the whole thing and drag it by the corner handle there, and everything goes up in proportion, so you can make the box larger or smaller as you wish to fit your glass. But how do you work out, I'll just undo that, put it back to it. How do you work out how big to make the box? That's the thing. So what you would need to do is you'd need a ruler or a tape measure, and you would measure your glass straight across the bottom or at the widest part to get the diameter of it. And it's important that you measure it at the widest part, because quite often shot glasses flare, don't they, towards the top. So if you measured your glass and discovered that it was, I'm just not sure what mine accommodates. Yeah, it looks like my glass is no wider than 5 centimeters, but maybe yours is smaller. So you might want to take your box down. So we'll just say that your box is 37mm wide. So what you would do is you'd position your this is representing the diameter of your glass. Oops. I'm just trying to get everything a bit closer together. So that black circle represents the diameter of the glass that you're going to be using. So you'd select everything to make sure everything gets resized in Pro, and you drag on this handle to bring the whole template down until it was somewhere near. That's gone a little bit too far. So again, make sure you select all of it, not just one piece. It's really important that you do it all together. And that more or less fits that now. But what you need to do now is make sure that it fits the height of your glass. So what I'll leave that there just for the sake of it. What I also do is, if I've worked out that my glass is 3.7 centimeters in diameter, I also need to know how tall it is. So again, you're going to get your tape measure and you're going to measure the height of the glass. And let's suppose your glass is, what I will do is I'll make this sort of a sideways representation of the glass now. So I'm going to say 3.7 wide, and we're going to say, let's just guess what it might be. Let's say 7 centimeters tall. So then you would need to, bring this represents looking at your glass sideways on. You need to bring it over here, and there you would discover that actually the box is too short for it now. So this is where you have to compromise. You can't stretch the box so it fits the height and the width. That just won't work. So here you have to work out a compromise of what you're going to make fit, and you have to obviously be able to fit your box in lengthwise. So I would just pop that there for now. You need to take this up again. Yeah, that's going to fit height-wise now, and it's not that much too wide. So it's a case of working out the diameter of your glass, working out the height of your glass, and finding a good fit for this box that makes it work. And then for this, this base insert here, you would need to make this circle perfectly fit the base of your glass. And so that way, even if the box is a slightly too wide a fit for your glass, but it's good height wise, you can still make it so that it's held securely in this thing. And I'll show you how to do that now. So we're saying, aren't we, that our glass is about 3.7 centimeters across the top. Let's say it's, what would be good? Let's say it's 2.5 across the bottom. I really am just choosing random numbers here. So we're pretending, we're claiming that that's the base of our glass. And you can see in the insert we've got at the moment, it would rattle around a bit. It's too small. So I'm going to show you how to change that now. Okay, so what we need to do first is we'd need to detach that. And then we need to be able to just select the cut piece. As you can see in the layers panel, I've just selected the cut piece now. We're going to use contour, and we're going to click on that, click on the center circle to get rid of my cutout, because that's no good for your glass. So this is your glass, it's 2.5. I'm going to just copy and paste that, and to make it sit comfortably, you don't want to be forcing it in. I would make it yeah, 2mm bigger. So we're going to say 2.7. So this is the new cutout for this insert. So you're going to put it over the top. We'll just select the whole thing and the scores at the moment so that we can align it, center it vertically and center it horizontally. And then we're going to select our new cutout and the insert, and we're going to slice it. And then we just need to get rid of all the bits that we don't want. And then we will need to send that to the back again, because when you slice things, it always makes them jump to the front. Send it to the back, and then you can attach it to the score line again. And there you've got an insert which will perfectly fit the base of your glass now. So even though you've had to make the box fractionally wider than your glass, it fits nicely height-wise, and the base of the glass is going to be held securely in that insert. I hope that helps. If you've got any more questions when you come to cut it or build it, do not hesitate to get in touch. I'm always happy to help. As long as you've got a ruler to measure your glass, we can work it out. Right, I'm not going to cut that, so I'll delete all that, and now I'll bring in the other SVG that you get in this pair, which is a single box to cut a single bottle of alcohol, a single miniature. So the way I've set this up, the insert and the top insert and the bottom insert are set up in a different colour, and I just did that in case you want to use tiny scraps to cut these two bits, but it really just depends how you work, and you can change the colour according to how you want to make it. But we need to do exactly the same as with this as we did with the other one. Again, you're going to select that first subgroup in the layers panel to select all the lines that need converting to scores. Go to your operations menu, choose score from the drop down list, and while they're still selected, because there's more than one part to this SVG, we need to ungroup it. Second step is to select all the cut pieces and the tiny cuts within them and ungroup those. And the third step is to select everything on screen anywhere you want to do it and ungroup again. And now we need to attach the scores to the individual pieces. Running away with myself there. So click on canvas somewhere near a piece, drag a box to enclose it and attach. And do that for each piece on screen that has score lines. Right. How big is that? Yeah, that's actually, just looking at my piece of paper on the wall, yeah, too big for, well, do you know, if that was me, I'd probably try and get that out of a sheet of A4, but you don't have to. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drag everything onto the yellow palette and we'll see what happens. I think you need a sheet of 12 by 12 to make this box, and as you can see, because Cricut doesn't like to overlap things, it's telling you you need two sheets. You absolutely don't. So just click on the box, move it onto that page with the two inserts, and then bring it down here and move things around so they just fit nicely on a sheet of 12 by 12. Yes, so sheet of 12 by 12 to cut that box and the inserts. The main box is too big to fit on letter, and I would actually, is it? Let's just go back. Letter is in millimeters. Where am I? 216 by 279. Oh no, that would fit on letter. Yeah, let's just go back then. It might not let you select it though because of the, it will. Yeah, it's not letting you, it's putting those on letter, but it's not letting you choose it for that one. That it sometimes does that. It'll show you the map but with nothing on it, which is a bit silly. But I would actually squeeze that. If that was me, I would squeeze that onto a letter, because you've got, where am I, 216 by 279. Yeah, you've got 9 millimeters to play with on the width, and you've got nearly 50 to play with on the length. So definitely that would cut from a sheet of letter. But if you don't want to faff around and you're not worried about saving card, then just use a sheet of 12 by 12. So again, with this one, you might need to alter it to fit your bottle. A lot of miniature bottles are the same height, but obviously your cap diameter might be different and the shape of your bottle might be different. You might have a round one rather than a square one. So again, you're going to go through that procedure of measuring the widest part of your bottle and making the whole SVG fit it, and then measuring the height of your bottle and seeing if that fits, and if it doesn't, finding a compromise between the two. And with this one again, you can just select that one piece, you can contour out the square shape, and you can put in the shape. If your bottle's round, for instance, you'll just bring in a circle, measure your bottle, make it the right size, center horizontally, center vertically, and then you're going to have to detach that so you can actually do the slice. You'd select the circle and that and slice, get rid of the bits you don't want, send that to the back again and attach that way, and you'd alter that in the same way if you needed to. If you've got any more questions when you come to build or cut this again, please do get in touch. I'm always happy to help. The links to do that are in the description below. You can get in touch via Etsy or Facebook, whichever's easier for you. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description below. Thanks a lot. Bye.